Kark here. Good morning. Good morning. So we have a big conversation today, and let me tell you that Kark in the car is going to be the only way to start your day on Hump Day, baby. Woo! See, what I did there is a very terrible wrestling promo, and the topic of conversation today on my drive downtown is Wrestlemania 33, brother. So we can talk about what happened. First off, I wanted to put out a disclaimer that I do know it's fake. However, I also do like to mess with people and have very detailed arguments about why I don't think it's fake. And I have to give a little bit of a shout out to Pat McAfee and Barstool Indie, because they basically had this podcast yesterday, which, you know what, timing's everything, and they got it in before me, so good for them. But I had to actually watch Monday Night Raw and the Tuesday night show in order to really get my full research down so I could feel like I could confidently talk about WrestleMania 33. So here's the deal. I know wrestling's fake, I get it, but at the end of the day, it is the greatest soap opera you could ever watch and hope for. There is sex, there is violence, there is comedy. Everybody plays their part, and more times than not, it's pretty damn entertaining. So, you know what? Like, at the end of the day, I'm going to watch wrestling. You can call me a loser, whatever you want, a 33-year-old man that watches wrestling. There's plenty of us out there, so don't let your man tell you that he doesn't watch it, because secretly he knows what's going on. So let's jump right into it. WrestleMania 33, the largest sports spectacular in the history of man. I'm guessing, but probably not. But it was extremely well attended. It was down in Orlando. I think it had like 76,000 people. I saw a stat last night that it was the largest live social media event in history, with having over like 5 million interactions in a couple hours, which is pretty crazy. So it's one of those things that you can't stop watching it. It's literally like a car crash. Not to mention too that, you know, there's how many years has this thing been going on? I used to watch wrestling with my dad and my grandpa when I was little. It was great. You know, so it's one of those things that it became like a family tradition. Monday night, especially during the late 90s, you were watching Monday Night Raw, WCW Monday Nitro, to see who was going to pull something bigger. It's a soap opera. It's fantastic. So let's get right into it. WrestleMania 33. There was a couple large things that happened. I think the biggest thing in the beginning was the Hardy Boys returned. If anybody knows anything about wrestling, the Hardy Boys have been wrestling for like 75 years, and they still look like they're 27. Well, not Matt, the brother. His hair's kind of messed up, and he looks like a skunk now. But those guys came in and surprised everybody, won the tag team championships in a four-way match, which was pretty exciting. Those guys have been through a lot. They've been through WCW, WWF, TNA, now they're back at WWE. So, Hardy Boys, that was a pretty big surprise. For the female listeners, my wife was most impressed about this. John Cena got engaged to Nikki Bella. So now we're bridging gaps. We're bridging male reality TV with female reality TV from Total Divas, if you watch that show, along with every other reality show on that channel. So that was pretty cool. The size of the diamond was unreal. That guy makes more money than God, so, you know, obviously he had like a small house on that ring. But that was pretty cool. They've only been together for like 7 years or whatever. I think probably the highlight of the evening, and everybody probably saw this on social media, was Gronk. Gronk got involved. And coming to find out, it was actually kind of a screwed up segment, because there was a point where one of the wrestlers, Jinder Mahal, got in Gronk's face, stole his beer, which you never do. You never steal a beer from a bro boy or a party guy like Gronk. That's just silly. So he stole his beer, threw it on his face, kind of, and then Gronk hops the barrier and like gets ready to get in, and all of a sudden there's this like security person that didn't know that was set up, and she started like trying to push Gronk out. And here's Gronk like, you know, 6'10", 250 pounds versus this little security lady. And then finally everybody let him in, and he got in the ring, got down in a football stance and smashed that dude in the face. So it was pretty funny. So Gronk had his WrestleMania moment. So all in all, I would say the matches were pretty good. Randy Orton ended up beating Bray Wyatt, and then Goldberg and Brock Lesnar kind of had their final duel, I guess, which it sucks because I was a big fan of Goldberg. No, Craig, I did not get a new car. This is Micah's car. I was a big fan of Goldberg, but I felt like when wrestlers come back like that, kind of like my movie rant the other day, when people try to remake something that was already legendary, it's almost just too much. So that kind of sucked. I mean, that guy just, like, literally all of his matches since his return have lasted a total of like 75 seconds. So he just needs to go beat Goldberg somewhere else. But he lost his belt to Brock Lesnar. So Brock Lesnar, sponsored by Jimmy John's, probably 19 BBLTs before the match, and kicked Goldberg's ass. But it was good. I mean, it's fine. It's kind of the outcome we expected because eventually Goldberg had to go away. Now, I will say that probably the largest moment was The Undertaker retiring. And if anybody knows anything about wrestling, The Undertaker has been a staple in the company for 3 decades. I mean, that guy has been, I mean, they call Shawn Michaels Mr. WrestleMania, but I mean, that guy had a streak that was unparalleled until Brock Lesnar beat him. And really, it was just kind of like a sad, emotional moment to see that he was hanging him up. Although you kind of expected it, right? He was definitely, it was definitely his time to put him up. But at the same time, it's kind of like your childhood, piece of your childhood hero is going away. So all in all, WrestleMania, good show. Found out last night, next year it's going to be in New Orleans. I'm currently trying to persuade Micah to let us go down because she loves the city of New Orleans. I've never been there, and now we can make an excuse to go down for WrestleMania. So that is the recap on WrestleMania 33. Matt Jensen actually asked a good question on the first Facebook Live, Kark in the Car, and he kind of asked, what were my top 5 wrestlers, top tag teams, etc. So I'll go through my top 5 wrestlers, and again, this is interactive, so comment right back. Let me know what, whether you agree, disagree. I'm going to have to go number 1, Scott Hall, the bad guy, Razor Ramon. That dude just had charisma and could absolutely just get people on his side, and was just good on the mic. And I liked his finishing move, the Razor's Edge. I mean, then he started the whole NWO with Kevin Nash, and it was just one of those things that Scott Hall was just always a smooth dude, man. So Scott Hall was my number 1. Number 2, probably have to go Undertaker, just because, again, that guy has been a staple in the WWE for a long time, and you kind of see like multiple transitions of him being the dead man, and then American Badass, and then going back to a dead man, and then kind of like a drunk boxer. So I mean, he just stood the test of time. Undertaker's a badass. Number 3, I think everybody knows Stone Cold Steve Austin, the guy that just did not give an F. The guy gave 0 Fs and basically just did what he wanted. So during the whole Attitude Era, that was like a big feud, and Stone Cold pretty much just did what he wants. Favorite moment, probably when he drove into the arena with a beer truck and just started spraying Vince McMahon with beer. Hilarious. And not to mention, now everybody has patented the Stone Cold Steve Austin, which is famous by Pat McAfee for basically smashing beers together and chugging them as fast as you can when half of them run down your shirt. So Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number 3, I'm going to go with Triple H. I know a lot of people that find that controversial, but that dude is another, just rock in the WWE. Now he's a COO. He's really turned that company around, helped develop NXT. So I mean, he's done a lot for the company and the brand itself, and yet he still performed at WrestleMania 33. The dude's like 50, looks like a Greek god, body that I wish that never would be able to get. But geez, I mean, that guy's just jacked for a 50-year-old dude. And number 5, we'll probably go, man, There's so many good ones. I mean, I liked Goldberg, but I'm gonna probably go classic with like the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, the Ultimate Warrior, everybody knows that guy, and he's actually also from Indiana. He just passed away a couple years ago, but you know, the whole Ultimate Warrior, running to the ring as fast as you can, shaking the ropes. I'm pretty sure I had that wrestling buddy when I was little, so you know, Ultimate Warrior definitely is up there. So share your top 5. You know, let me know what you guys think. Unfortunately, you know, I'm happy and upset. I guess I'm half-set because, you know, Pat McAfee and those guys at Barstool Indy got that conversation out first. But hey, that just means great minds think alike. So, you know, share this if you want. My ultimate goal, I want to get on Pat McAfee's show. I want to be his WWE correspondent. So we got to figure out how to get me there somehow. But hope you guys enjoyed this Kark in the Car. Keep sending those comments. We do have some updates that I have some confirmed guests that we're gonna start figuring out how to get in the car on the drive in or home from work. So that should be pretty fun. So if you are interested, let me know and keep sending those topics. I really appreciate it. And like I said, this totally makes my drive a lot easier in the morning or afternoon. So again, it entertains me. Have a great Wednesday, and I will chat at you guys later. See ya.